So I think as God has been healing me and working on me, it's important that I share my testimony. I usually don't because I'm a private person, but I think more as I'm getting comfortable with my story, I'm sharing it more because I don't know who my story is to help. And I think it's important that we be witnesses to show what God is not only capable of, but what he's able to do. And it's important for people that's going through it or, in the midst of a challenge to see what's on the other side when they believe and they pray and, trust God to bring them through. And just to share my story that somebody may be in the thick of something and they may not see themselves on the other side, but seeing somebody that has been through a challenge. And it's not easy, and I'm not going to lie to you guys. It's not easy trusting God when you're in the midst of a trial, a storm, a challenge, because you can't see yourself on the other side. But seeing somebody who has been through something difficult and seeing them getting through it, that gives you light and that gives you something to look forward to on the other side. Whew. It wasn't an easy journey, honestly. When I got the news, it was difficult because when you look at cancer, you think of bad, you don't think of death. And I'm like, God, why me? I'm not perfect, but what did I do to deserve this? And as a Christian, you in your mind, you like challenging God is not the right thing to do, but we're also human. So that was a human experience for me. And, it's important that you prophesy to yourself in the midst of the challenge because that helps you see yourself through it and, see yourself not identifying what your struggle and your problem is, but praying and trusting God that I'm not identifying with this and I'm trusting you to bring me through it however you see fit. And, you guys have been so instrumental in my journey, praying for me, being there for me, Bishop and First Lady, coming every Sunday, checking on me. First Lady, sending me those words every day. And some days you would miss it and you would double up on it. So, not only were you prophesying to me, God was doing something in your life. And I just thank you guys. And, God rest her soul, Sister Mamie, being in that journey. And her checking on me, Brother Connor, bringing her down there to see me, and she would call me, and she could just hear my voice when I had those difficult days, and she would say, you don't have to talk. I know it's a difficult day. I can hear it in your voice. And just her being there, ministering to me because she's been through that journey, me being in my journey and ministering to the nurses and doctors and the staff that would come and see me. I didn't realize what God was doing in my life, that in my journey, he was doing something in their lives. And not even in my family, Bishop, you probably don't even remember this. That last Sunday, before I went in for my treatment, you pulled me aside and you said, I had a dream, and God told me that this is not for you, it's for your family. And that gave me the fight to fight through it, because it was times that I wanted to give up because it was mentally and physically challenging. And I just like, God, I don't know how much more of this I can take. You're going to have to give me something to pull through. My doctor told me, and I understood now why people stop their treatment, because it's grueling, it's painstaking, it just takes a lot out of you. And I was like, God, you're gonna have to help me through this. And I'm like, it's tough. And I knew that if I quit, I knew that where I would stay at, and I didn't want to stay in that painstaking space. So just to anybody, the only fight that you lose is the one that you give up in. If you have to crawl, walk, run, whatever you have to do, just keep moving. You're not going to always stay there. So I just thank you guys for being the church that you are. Just, anytime somebody is going through something, we all gather around each other. And I like that the church is not so big that people just feel like a number, but we feel like family. And I'm just so grateful that God planted me in this space. Whew. I didn't plan to be up here this long because I don't like to talk a lot, but when I get the food going, it just doesn't stop. And I can remember, this is the last thing, the theme for that year was walking on water. And I wouldn't, at that New Year's Eve ceremony, I wouldn't know the testimony and the trial that God would put me through that next year. And walking on water just simply means trusting in God through a difficult time. How does that look for you? You got to keep pushing. You got to keep moving. You got to keep fighting. And just looking back at that journey, I don't like to because it's difficult, because it's reliving all those things. It's hard sometimes, but it allows me to stand here and be grateful and thankful and bless God how blessed that I am. Like, I don't look like what I've been through. And if you don't know my story, you wouldn't have known that that was a part of my journey. So I remember that, and I'm grateful and I'm thankful, because some people didn't make it through it. Some people have those war wounds. You can't tell that I've been through that, and I'm just so grateful, and that gives me the fight to get up every day. And the things that I might go through along the road, it doesn't even compare to that. So I have to be grateful in any and everything. So I didn't want to get up here, but God kept nudging on me, and I listened. So I'm just grateful that I can be here today and share that story, and hopefully that somebody sees me and sees that your life is worth the fight. Don't give up. Pray, seek counsel from somebody else. Don't hold it in. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. Just ask for help. The help is out there, and just to continue to trust in God no matter what. There's a purpose and there's a reason for what you're in right now. So just thank you guys for letting me take this time to share my story with you guys.